Good to go. All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Talk to Danielle podcast. I am your host, Danielle C. Baker. And before we get started, be sure to like, follow, and subscribe to whichever channel you're listening or watching from. And of course, this is season 4. So I do invite you to have a look at the 3 previous seasons. There may be some topics there with some guests that may resonate with your reality today. They are timeless episodes, so you can go have a look at that. And we're going to jump right in with my guest today. It's going to be a very good topic, actually. It's one that keeps reoccurring lately. I have the wonderful Denise Frenette with me. And we're going to go, of course, she just wrote a book and it touched really on the topic that we are going to address today about seeing the good in how we were parented and how we are parenting or how we see life. So we'll be more on that. I'll put the spotlight on Denise right now. Thank you so much, Denise, for joining me today. I'm really excited to have you on.
Well, thank you, Danielle, for having me. I'm thrilled to be here. Your podcast is absolutely incredible. So it's a pleasure for me to be here today. And I love the idea of talking to parents,
Mhm.
talking about parenting and talking to parents. And I'm a mom, I'm a stepmom, and I'm a daughter. And so you mentioned my book. Yes, I did write a book. And
Yes, more, the book
and
more,
it's
yeah.
yeah, and it is. It's about more and how to live in the essence of more. And one of the things that I bring into the book is my relationship with my father and my mother. Um, and it wasn't always a perfect upbringing.
Mhm.
There was violence and alcoholism and stuff like that. With that said, one of the things that I address that I think is so important, is the understanding that there are multiple facets to people and to who they are, and there are reasons why they are the way they are. And I know that my parents did the absolute best that they could with the tools that they were given. And I did the absolute best that I could as a mom with the tools that I was given, and so on and so forth. And so, as a coach, I do some, I'm a transformational life coach. And I'm going to say, I don't know, 95% of my clients are parents, are also parents. And a lot of them struggle with not being good enough, being concerned that they are screwing up, that they are, um, yeah, that they're not doing the right thing. And maybe they are, maybe they're not doing the right thing.
Mhm.
And the important thing is there's a lot of tools out there so that we can understand and learn that we could change, that we
Yeah.
could change our habits, change the way we view things, and which ultimately changes the way we parent as well. One of the things that I think is also extremely important is what I call off the hook. So,
Mhm.
you've heard of that, that
Yeah,
expression?
we've talked about off the hook, and it's I think it falls really well into this with it to help parents. So yeah,
Yeah. And
I love it.
what it is, it's just a concept that I have of if you feel guilty about something you've done, like, I don't know, have you ever screamed at your child and you realize afterwards, oh, maybe I shouldn't have said that? And maybe you're at the end of your rope and you're exhausted because you're working how many hours a week and finances are tight and so on and so forth.
Mhm.
Um, and the idea behind the off the hook is understanding that feeling guilty doesn't always serve
Yeah.
you to the best. Okay, now if you feel guilty, is it important to acknowledge what's going on? Is it important to acknowledge, wait a minute, that wasn't okay, maybe I need to relook on how I approach this or how I communicate? Absolutely. Now the feeling of guilt, and that heaviness that we carry with that usually doesn't bring forth an energy that will encourage you to
Mhm.
change and to accept grace, forgiveness, understanding. Because the more a parent understands that, the more they can transmit that to their children as well.
Yeah.
And I think that is so important for parents to understand, to be gentle on themselves, right?
It's so important. You're right, because we do beat ourselves up when we react, especially if we react like our parents used to react, and we're thinking,
Oh,
I never wanted this to happen. But this is a time where some people will just go and blame the child and say, well, they brought it out of me, or they're pushing my buttons, and they're not, they're really not. But to take a step back and say, okay, I didn't handle this well, just the fact that you notice it and you feel guilty about it means you are a good parent. Because, if you didn't care, then there'd be an issue. But also to take it a step further, when we've had our first conversations, that's when I realized that we really do need to have these conversations to pivot towards my parents were doing the same thing. We think our parents knew everything, that they had it all together, but they were just figuring out, especially if you were the firstborn, they were figuring it out along. You were kind of the experiment in their parenting at that point. So is to take that step back and say, okay, wait, but do I continue now that I'm aware of this? Am I going to keep going, or am I going to do something about it? And this is what I like about what you say is we're not meant to do this alone. That you shouldn't be taking that all. There's resources, there's help. So to kind of
absolutely.
get that balance, and not transfer all your baggage over to your children. Do you have any
Ab-
tips or
No,
or ideas that you could share with us?
yes, absolutely. Because, you know, I remember after I gave birth to my son,
Hmm.
who I absolutely adore. Of course, a parent is going to say that, and if they're on a podcast, they're going to say that.
Yeah, yeah.
No, no, but seriously, I after he was born, the first 2 years, and I really wanted to be a mom. Oh my gosh. And it took forever for me to get pregnant. We were starting to look into adoption, and I got pregnant.
Mm,
And I was so happy. And then I gave birth, and he had health conditions. And the first few years were really tough. And I remember thinking motherhood was like, it was cruel, and I
yeah.
didn't like it. And the guilt that came with that. And it was a time of my life that was extremely, extremely challenging.
Hmm.
And I was embarrassed and ashamed that I wasn't loving motherhood, this beautiful miracle, right? And there I went on my own, and I did not reach out. And I am telling you, if anybody listens to this podcast today or anytime, and if you are struggling, please reach out. The minute I started reaching out, it took a few years for me to get over
Yeah.
the fact that I wasn't loving motherhood. And I
Hmm.
knew I loved my baby, but man, there were issues. I didn't know how to handle it. I couldn't really go to my parents. And when I started reaching out, is when I could start to breathe again. And that journey of self-forgiveness for not loving um, the motherhood stage took years. And yes, I went for counseling and coaching and the whole 9 yards. Thank God I did. So if a parent, and I don't care if this your child is like 1 years old or 5 or 18, if you
Hmm.
are struggling with any aspect, oh gosh, just Google help in your area, even if it's a support group, go. Because when you hear what other people go through and how it could resemble what it is you're going through, that in itself, that just on its own, can help you find other ways of dealing with it. And
Yeah.
because we're not supposed to be alone. We are a community. And
Mhm.
anyone who thinks they can do it alone is driven by a false sense of ego of I don't know what. Um, and we're just really not supposed to be doing this on our own.
That is so true. And we do take it on our own. And the image that we're given now is basically just to be this super parent doing it all on your own, but you really can't.
Mhm.
And you really touched on something here that I want to highlight because it's so important for it's the reality for so many families is you couldn't go to your family. You couldn't go to your own parents, or there's a lot of people think that it's the family that will support them, but in many cases it's not. So you do need to go out there and find your community, find your village, and build from that. I really like that. You talk on your in your book too. Again, it's called More. I love that title. The with your experience, with the experience you've had with your parents, but the moments where you decided, because it is a choice, to focus on what was good. And so for a family or a parent that's listening to this right now that are like up to their eyeballs in everything that's going wrong, and you can't see the light at the end of the tunnel, could you have any advice on little things, like how little can it be to start
Oh,
to really build that habit to focus on what we're doing good and what our children are doing well as well?
yeah. Um, what got me to the place of I had it, okay, and that was years ago. And I woke up one day. It's funny. Okay, so I woke up one day, and that was it. I realized this isn't this. And when I talk about this, it was the way I'm experiencing my life, the way I'm viewing people, whatever, my businesses. This isn't working for me anymore. I am not happy.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what happened that day after I realized that I'm done? Nothing. Nothing happened. And the day after that, nothing happened. And the day after that. And then you know what happened? About 5 months later, I woke up one day and that was it. I was done. And I was done again. And this went on for a while, a few years. And I'm thinking, holy crap, how much more done can I be till I do something about it? And I was exhausted. And something that finally did it for me is I realized that the habits that I had, and I mean the emotional habits, the habits and the way I was viewing and thinking, were all negative.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
I thought, wait a minute, I'm done. I can't do this anymore. And I had been done and done and done and done and done. I just need to see something good. And so
Mm-hmm.
that was the biggest impact ever, is when I actually said, I can't do this and I'm not that great, but every day I'm going to find one good thing. And I know it sounds so tacky and simple, but I'm going to say the one good thing led to another good thing. And then I realized I've got a choice here. I
Mm-hmm.
can choose to only see what's bad, or I could choose, even if it's really hard, I can choose to look for what's good because sometimes you really got to look hard.
Yeah.
And so, even with um, my husband, then, okay, I thought, wait a minute. I'm not going to see the fact that he didn't take out the garbage and what's wrong with him. He can't even take out the recycling the same time every freaking week, dude, and all of that. And, da, 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 and, da, 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 and the laundry keeps on piling up and blah, 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 whatever it was. Okay.
Right.
I said, wait a minute. I will make the biggest effort to look at my kids, to look at my husband, to look at my businesses, whatever it was going on, and I will see only what is good and I will focus and feed only that because at this point anything that I'd done previously wasn't working and it
Mm-hmm.
was all negative. It really was. And I also understood that the tools that I would have been shown growing up played a big role in that as well.
Yeah.
And so if I was to say, if you want to switch things, if you're struggling, even seeing the best in your own kids, okay, because I know we're supposed to love them, but liking them could be a little challenging sometimes, right? And
Yeah.
so what I am suggesting is start seeing them in what they're good at, their qualities, really focusing on that. You don't ignore what's going on. That isn't okay. Ignoring never works. Okay. You need to acknowledge that, but you don't live in that.
Yeah.
Acknowledge it, you see it, and then you shift, and you also acknowledge the beauty and what is good. And that is what you live in.
Yeah.
And the more you choose, because it's not easy, the more
Yeah.
you choose to live in that state, believe it or not, the more that expands. And that is how you find solution. That is how you find hope. That is how you find energy. And that is part of the living in the essence of more
Hmm.
love, more joy, more forgiveness, more understanding, more solutions.
I love that. And it does get easier. At first, it's hard to look for the good things. You're in like mid, this is lovely, like you're just pushing it. But it does, in the end, when you're used to it, it takes less energy than just keep marinating in the negative. I think it's so good. But so another one thing, the last time we spoke, and I've been practicing that ever since the last time we talked, is when you do see those good moments, it could be, driving and, you're getting home and it's just like, and it's just these nice moments where usually you just brush it off because you're focusing again on the recycling that hasn't been taken out. But it's I invite that in when you're having a good moment, when you see something good.
Okay.
The sky is gorgeous right now. All
Yeah.
right, yeah, I want that
I
in.
did.
Like I'm
I
inviting
didn't
that in. So
remember. Yeah,
yeah.
I didn't remember that I actually shared that with you in our previous conversation. But yes, so
Yeah.
that's one of the things that I work with my clients. One of the tools that I share is it could be absolutely anything. The
Mhm.
minute you wake up in the morning. So one of the things that I do is the minute I wake up in the morning, I say, good morning. And I'm saying good morning to me. And I'm
Yeah.
saying good morning to the universe. I'm saying good morning to everything that is beautiful out there that is good. Okay. And that's it. I just say good morning. And from there, what I recommend, and I know it helped me a great deal and it helps my clients a great deal, is simply move forward and during the day and anything that you like. I don't know what anything. Let's say you're walking in a mall and you smell caramel, cotton candy,
Yeah.
cookies, whatever it is. Anything that you like. You're in the car, you hear a song that
Mm.
you like. You acknowledge it real quickly. It takes 2 seconds, not even. And you invite that in.
Yeah.
And what that does is it gets your brain to rewire itself. It gets your brain to start paying attention to what is good. You
Yeah.
could hear your kids laughing. Okay, you know the
Yeah.
bedroom's upside down, you know whatever, you know the laughter's probably going to get into a fit soon, whatever it is, whatever.
Yeah.
You hear something that is pleasant, that you like, that you want, whatever it is, and really focus for that 1 second and say, I invite that in.
Yeah.
And what happens then is your brain starts to understand, wait a minute. She wants good things. She wants joy. She wants happiness. She wants solutions. Even if you're walking by a bookstore and you're seeing all of these books, and you know there's a
Mhm.
lot of solutions and really great ideas in those books, God knows you don't have the time to read them because you're a parent, but that's okay. Walk by the bookstore, invite that in, the solutions, the knowledge, and that's it. And
Yeah.
you do this over and over and over again. And what it is that you are doing is you're training yourself to see what is good, to see what is beautiful, positive, and that in itself helps you find solutions, new creative ways to view things differently,
Yeah.
to view your
Yeah.
family, your surroundings, your kids, and your life differently.
I love that. And you give yourself permission to have those good moments and those good feelings. So it's great. I love
Yeah.
that. There's so much we could talk about it, but let's talk about what you have going on. Of course, you have the book. The real work starts once the book is in your hand. So there, I'm sure you have lots going on. But what is up next for you, and what's coming up?
Well, one of the things that I created is a 6-week transformational program, and it's been going for a few years now. It's called Because You Can.
Mm,
And I've got it, and twice a year, I offer it as a group as well. This is all done virtually, by the way, not in person. So it's all done virtually. That is my next group is launching in March. And I'm always excited about that. It is a smaller group. I usually don't accept much more than 7 participants. And I do have some openings left for that. All that information is on my website, by the
mm.
way. And so that's exciting. That's coming up. And I'm already writing my next book.
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
That's
And so
something
that
that authors don't talk about. Is when you're writing your first book, the other two, three, four books are popping up already.
Yeah, exactly. And so that's coming up at one point.
Mhm.
And so I know that I'm keeping myself pretty busy with that as well,
Yeah,
which is always fun and always amazing.
that's
But
wonderful.
yes, and so the again, all that information is on my website, and I definitely invite anybody to go visit it. It's my name. It's denisefrenette.com.
Excellent.
And
I'll put that information in the description
yep,
so people can
yep,
refer to it.
yep,
And where can they get your book? Of course, if you want to hold it up, I
yep,
don't have your copy.
absolutely.
Yes.
And so it's called More Because It's Time. And you could get this on just Amazon.
Mhm.
Literally just go on Amazon and put in More Because It's Time and my name, and it's going to pop up there. And it takes 2 days to get. And the thing, by the way, about the book, it is a short read.
Mhm.
I know as a parent, as a business owner, I don't have that much time. And so when I pick up a book, I want to be able to read it in a weekend or almost in a day. This is literally a 90-minute read. It
Yeah.
takes an hour and a half. Now, is it a book that you might want to read more than once? Absolutely.
Mhm.
But when you get it, literally get a nice glass of wine, get your kids babysat, wait till they're in bed, okay? Peace and
Yeah.
quiet. And yeah, take the time to explore it. It talks about a lot of different things about how to change your habits, how to change
Mhm.
the way you view things. Um, and so far, the response I've had has been absolutely incredible. I wasn't expecting such a great response, but I got a great response. I'm so grateful for that.
Yeah.
And again, so it's a fast read. So it's not going to take a month to get through the book. And so for whoever, if it calls to you, by all means, have a look at it. And hopefully it helps. Hopefully it
Yeah.
helps.
I love that more because you
Mhm.
can't, we do deserve more. There should
We
always
do.
be more.
And
I
it's
love that.
there. And it's
Yeah.
it's all around us. It literally is. In the people that surround us and the services that we have around us, there's a lot out there. We just don't necessarily always see it. And
Hmm.
it's a question of just looking a little bit differently to see what's already right in front of us sometimes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Sometimes
Yes.
we do need that because we're just locked off. We don't see it. And what I like about the book too is it's transferable to anything. It's not just for parents, but for your own personal growth. You can transfer that into every aspect of your life. It is possible to work on it. So I just love it. Great read. And yeah, you're right. It's nice when it's a quick read because sometimes you want to read these books, but they're that thick and you're thinking it. But that is a good one. I like that wine and a book, wine and more. I love it.
Or a coffee or a glass of water. I'm just saying,
Yeah,
but a nice good Merlot sometimes.
yeah. It hits
Yeah,
the spot. Yeah.
yes, exactly.
Oh my goodness, I could talk to you all day, and I definitely need you to come back on later on as the year progresses to see where we're at in everything that we wanted to accomplish. But before I go, I play along with my guests. I think I warned you about it, but I do ask the question of what do you want to be when you grow up?
Wow. What do I want to be when I grow up? You know, because I know how young I am presently, so I've got to think in the future here. The more I grow up, the more I want to be intentional with my time, intentional with my words, and the more fun I want to have. Life is short and we work really hard, right? And we go through so much. We lose people we love, we grieve, we struggle, and we pay bills and the whole shebang. And
Mhm.
so as I grow up, I want to more and more have fun, learn to laugh even more, create as much as I could, and enjoy the moments. So when I
Mhm.
grow up, I'm going to be this old lady who's going to wear bold, big clothing and jewelry and whatever,
Yeah,
who will sometimes embarrass her kids. Okay. And I'm going to love, I'm going to laugh, and I am going to play harder and harder.
I
That
love
is my goal as I am growing up.
I love that. I love asking. Thank you so much for playing along because that's great. And I see you so out with the big, the big hats and glasses and jewelry. I'm all for it. I'm going to be playing along with you on that one for sure.
I love that question, by the
Yeah.
way. I love it. Yeah,
I love I love asking adults. I don't ask kids that because I feel it constricts, but as an adult, it opens up the whole world to you. It's because we're still growing. We're still evolving. So that answer could be your answer would be different 2 years from now. So it's a
absolutely.
lot of fun. I love it. Thank you so much. And is there before we wrap up, is there anything else you'd like to add? Any words of wisdom or encouragement you'd like to share before we wrap it up?
So, one of the things that happened ever since I published my book is that ripple effect that I was mentioning. And I just want to applaud individuals like yourself, Danielle, because you saw something, parents, okay, struggling and trying to be the best that they could. And what you did is so you saw a need and you did more.
Yeah.
And what you are doing, what you've created, is exactly what I talk about. Living in the essence of more is seeing a need and making a difference and working as a community like we're
Mhm.
supposed to. So I want to say thank you for allowing me to be part of your more, okay? Allowing my voice to be heard so that hopefully other people hear and know that they're not alone. I absolutely love, respect what you do. And so I am thanking you for
Mhm.
what you are bringing forth in this community. And the difference that you're making is incredible. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Denise. I invite that in for sure. Thank you. And thank you for your work because it really does. What I also like is how gentle your approach is because life
Mhm.
is hard, everything is hard, right? So it's just that to have that, it could just be little bite-sized pieces to start and then that ripple effect, right? The waves get bigger, but I do appreciate all the work that you do as well. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. It was great. It's a great start for people who feel overwhelmed and can't
Yeah,
seem to, they're done. But they're
yes,
6 or 7 dones away from being done. Yeah, I love that. So
exactly.
thank
Well,
you.
thank you. So thanks again for having me on your podcast. I very much appreciate it.
Thank you. And I will make sure to put your website information down as well so people can have a look at the work that you do and also where they can get your book because it can help so much for people who just don't know where to start. Start with her book more. It's definitely a good start. So thank you again. And anytime you want to come back on and
Awesome.
play along, I'm more than happy to have you over.
I'll be knocking at your door, Danielle. Mwah.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Love it so much. Thank you. And for everybody listening or watching. watching. Don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe to whichever channel you're listening or watching from. Don't forget to go check out Denise's work. And until next time, stay safe, stay awesome, and we'll talk soon.